Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL landscape lately, you already know that the NFC East isn't just a division, it's a battlefield. Every team is trying to find that edge, that spark that could propel them into serious playoff contention or even a deep postseason run. And right now, there's a huge buzz surrounding the Washington Commanders and a potential blockbuster move that might just shake up the entire division. Yes, we're talking about Trey Lance and the possibility of him coming to Washington. This isn't just rumor mill stuff. It's something that could realistically happen, and it's worth diving deep into what it could mean for the Commanders, for Trey Lance, and for the NFC East as a whole. Let's set the scene a little. The Commanders, as we all know, are still trying to find that stability at quarterback. Jayden Daniels, their current starter, had a promising rookie season, no doubt. But through 2 weeks of this new season, some cracks have started to show. In their Week 2 matchup against the Green Bay Packers, Daniels' struggles in accuracy and decision-making became quite evident. Despite his impressive stats last year, over 390 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, and a solid 68.4% completion rate, this year feels different. The Packers' defense really tested him, exposing some weaknesses in reading defenses and timing throws, especially when under pressure. His completion percentage slipped to just 57.1%, which is a red flag for any quarterback, especially one looking to lead a team into serious playoff contention. Adding to the concern is the fact that Daniels took several hits during that game. With the offensive line struggling to hold up against the Packers' aggressive pass rush, Daniels was hit multiple times and had to undergo an MRI on his knee afterward. Now, this isn't just a minor scare. It highlights a potential vulnerability that could hamper the Commanders' season if not managed properly. For a team that's built to contend, relying on a quarterback who's showing signs of a sophomore slump or, worse, risking injury, is a gamble they shouldn't take. This is where Trey Lance enters the picture. Now, for those of you who might not be fully up to speed, Lance was traded to the Los Angeles Chargers not long ago, and he's been catching some attention with his preseason performance. The Chargers, after all, see him as a reliable backup for Justin Herbert, especially with Herbert's injury history. But more interestingly, Lance's preseason showings have been promising. He's shown flashes of the dual-threat ability that made him a top prospect coming out of college. His mobility, combined with a decent arm, makes him an intriguing option for teams looking to add a dynamic element to their offense. And here's the kicker. If the Chargers were to consider trading Trey Lance, the Washington Commanders could be prime contenders to make a deal happen. With the recent connection and familiarity between Lance and the NFL coaching circles, particularly with Washington's defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, or even the head coach, there's a strategic fit. But more than that, Lance's skill set is exactly what the Commanders need right now. A quarterback who can extend plays with his legs, scramble when the pocket collapses, and make quick decisions. These are qualities that could help elevate Washington's offense, especially if Daniels' injury or slump worsens. Let's take a moment here to appreciate Trey Lance's potential. Remember, he was considered one of the top quarterback prospects in his draft class, and his athleticism and arm talent have never been in question. Sure, he's had some struggles adjusting to the NFL game, but the preseason showed that he's making progress. His ability to make plays outside the pocket and create opportunities for his team is exactly what the Commanders need to diversify their offensive approach. With the right coaching and support, Lance could develop into a leader capable of guiding this team deep into the playoffs. Now, why would Washington be particularly interested in trading for Lance? Well, first, they need stability at quarterback. Daniels has shown promise but also vulnerabilities that could cost them games or worse, lead to injuries that derail their entire season. Second, by bringing in Lance, they get a quarterback with a different skill set, more mobility, more improvisation, which could add a new dimension to their offense. Third, and perhaps most importantly, Lance's familiarity with NFL schemes and his demonstrated growth in the preseason make him a low-risk, high-reward option. Plus, Washington's coaching staff, especially defensive-minded coach Jack Del Rio, already has some knowledge of Lance's abilities from their time in Dallas in 2023, which could help accelerate his integration into the system. It's also worth noting that the NFC East is stacked this year. The Dallas Cowboys are solid, the Philadelphia Eagles are still contenders, and even the New York Giants have a new energy. In this context, every game matters, and having a versatile quarterback like Lance could be the difference-maker in tight situations. Washington's roster is strong, with a solid defense and playmakers on offense, but they need that extra spark at quarterback to truly challenge the division's top teams. Lance could be that spark. Of course, the trade isn't just about potential, it's about timing and strategy. Washington would need to negotiate with the Chargers, who might value Lance as a developmental project or as a future starter, depending on how the season unfolds. The Chargers, meanwhile, might see Lance as expendable if they feel confident in Herbert's health and want to recoup some draft capital or roster depth. It's a complex dance, but one that could benefit both sides if done right. As we look ahead, the impact of such a trade could be enormous. For Washington, it's about adding a player with upside, someone who can grow and lead when needed. For Lance, it's about finding a team that believes in his talent and wants to give him the chance to flourish as a starting quarterback. And for the NFC East, it could mean a shift in power, with Washington gaining a new weapon that might just propel them into serious postseason contention. Now, let's talk a bit about the broader picture. The Commanders have been a team on the rise. They have a talented defense, a good core of skill players, and a coaching staff that's trying to build a winning culture. But the quarterback position has always been the wild card. If they manage to land Trey Lance, it could resolve a lot of uncertainties. Imagine Lance stepping in, reading defenses better, and making the most of the talent around him. That could lead to more wins, more exciting games, and ultimately, a shot at the Super Bowl. And we all know that for Washington fans, the Super Bowl is the ultimate goal, the dream they've been chasing for decades. Plus, the division rivals, like the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles, are formidable, no doubt. But teams often win with the right quarterback, especially if that quarterback can make plays outside the scheme, extend drives, and keep defenses honest. Lance brings that element, especially with his dual-threat ability. And with the coaching staff already familiar with his style, he could be integrated into the team faster than most might expect. So as this story unfolds, keep your eyes glued to the NFL news cycle. The potential trade for Trey Lance isn't just a rumor, it's a real possibility that could reshape the NFC East landscape. Washington has a lot to gain, and if they pull the trigger, fans should get excited about the future. A new quarterback, a new chapter, maybe even a new chance at the Super Bowl. That's what's on the horizon if this move comes to fruition. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Trey Lance trade? Do you believe it's the right move for the team? Would you be excited to see Lance under center, leading this squad into a new era? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This team is on the rise, and with a little bit of luck and the right moves, they could very well be back in the Super Bowl conversation sooner than we think. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Commanders!